Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have DPG's herO, our #1 ranked Protoss player, versus ByuN, not the #1 ranked Protoss player, and also not the #1 ranked Terran player, as I think in most people's hearts and minds that would be Maru, and I think that is correct. Number 2, maybe the second best Terran player in the world currently. It is possible. Of course, there's a couple of contenders for that. You could say Bunny with some good performances, getting first in his group in the GSL. Definitely could claim that. We could even look at someone like... Do I want to say Clem here? Maybe. Yeah, why not? Clem? Cure? Anyone? Maybe. Cure has fallen off a little bit though at recent times. I really feel like ByuN is just slightly better than that. Anyway, let's have a look at what's going to happen. As the herO is scouting... one hell of a scouting pattern he had over here. Moving all the way towards the bottom left, making sure that there was nothing proxied there, I guess. And opening up with a core before Nexus, with a... Wait, this is fast. Core before Nexus with an Adept popping out already. Stargate as a follow-up as well. We'll have to wait and see what his actual plans are going to be. Took a little bit of damage on that probe against the Marine. We'll know that the opener is with Marine first. Hasn't seen the command center yet. Would like to get a peek on that. Ideally, you'd like to see it. It might worry him a little bit. You know, not like a big worry. It's not the type of worry that keeps you up at night. It's the type of worry where it's like, it is a possibility, but probably not. You know, it's possible that this is a Marine with a fast factory proxied somewhere. There was a possibility. It's not the case. Could have happened though. This Adept is really quite fast. This was a factory before the reactor. That means that the Hellion is going to pop out fast, but these Marines were a little bit later than they usually are. I don't think the Hellion is actually going to end up falling. I do believe that this Adept will end up dying. Might get another kill though. No, some missed target there out of herO. Some weird repair moves going on as well out of ByuN. So mistakes being made all around. The question now is going to be, will this be very impactful? I think the answer will be no. Phoenix first here for herO. Second unit is a Stalker, which moves across the map. Is there a third gateway unit at home? No, there's none. Stalker could potentially be capable of dealing a little bit of damage here if it's microed well. At the same time, this Hellion will be lifted up. Ooh. ByuN finds himself in a really awkward position here, I think. We're just going to get out-microed by this Stalker. Does not have a Cyclone on the way. Wanted to actually swap the starport with the tech lab to get a Raven going. But after scouting the fact that there's 2 Phoenixes at home, instead we'll go for a Viking and a Cyclone. So more of an anti-Phoenix type of build order. These Marines could get picked up and go for a little bit of an attack. Could also get picked up and go for some map controlling moves. I don't really want to attack into Phoenixes usually. However, if you get to unload all 8 Marines and there's no other gateway units nearby, it really does have some potential. It's difficult for Phoenixes to kill Marines without any support whatsoever. We do get the unload here. This battery is only, well, about 50% done right now. Is there actually any gate units? Except for this Stalker, which currently, once again, occupying the watchtower. Cyclone, Vikings being rallied across the map as well. 1 Phoenix will get taken out. 2 Marines have already died. 3rd Marine about to be taken out as well. 2nd Phoenix might fall. Yep, there we go. Medevac will die though. So at the end of the day, what do we see here? We see 2 Phoenixes dying. And we might end up seeing a little bit more dying here on the side of ByuN, except for that Medevac and 8 Marines. Seems like a Cyclone also will end up falling, and the final Marine will also get taken out. 2 probes get killed during this little push. There's a 3rd CC on the way, and we do have more Vikings and more Cyclones in production. Ooh, that's going to cost the life of 1 Phoenix, I guess, as well as the life of 1 Viking. Okay trades here for ByuN. I think if you're trading 1 Viking for a Phoenix at this point, you're okay with that. It's not going to be great, but because you have such a fast 3rd CC, I think, you know, you'll be okay with it. I thought there was 2 charges on the production tab, but I just saw the charge being researched in the Twilight Council, and then at the same time also being researched in the actual production tab. You can't even cover it, and then when another thing disappears, it pops on top of it or pops away from it. It's pretty funny. Well, I find it pretty funny. Not sure if everyone agrees with me. Bit of a supply block here for our good friend ByuN, who already had a supply drop. Now building 2 depots at the same time. Battery at the 3rd base means that this is just absolutely safe, right? We have 3 Phoenixes out, 3 Stalkers. Stalkers are great at stopping this type of push as long as there's no tanks involved, because you can just kite forever, move back to the battery, super battery, kite forever, etc, etc. 1 probe might end up dying, no. Quick pull back out of herO means the probe will survive. 78 supply against 77. 5 barracks right now, or well, barracks 4 and 5 on the way. Barracks 2 and 3 have just finished. eBay has finished as well, which means we'll get to see +1 being researched. 3rd orbital command is on the way. This is something that ByuN does fairly often, forcing out a lot of gateway units as well as Stargate units to delay the infrastructure of his opponent. Every single time a Protoss player makes a warp in before the big infrastructure boom, it means that his mid game is going to be a little bit weaker. So this is just something to keep in mind. ByuN is setting up maybe for a mid game push. Ooh, he's getting a bunker though. He's afraid. ByuN's not setting up for any push. ByuN is setting up to stay at home forever. Quitting his day job and taking care of the dog. Oh no. This is kind of scary. I don't think he should be at home right now. Or well, he can be at home, but I don't think a bunker is necessary. He's in a good enough position that you can just be... He can take map control with the double medevacs, that's for sure. At least in my mind. Could definitely go for a scan here on the 3rd base. See that there's double gases going down there. Always nice to get that type of info. If you're playing against a Protoss player that has 3 gases or 4 gases only, then yes, I understand you want to be a little bit more defensive. But if you're playing against a TOS that's on 6 gas and most likely going to be tacking into either Colossi or Storm, yeah, probably don't want to be staying at home too much. You can take a little bit of map control, at least take the watchtower, see if there's anything around you being set up, like any type of zealot run-bys, maybe a prism somewhere, that type of stuff. You can really deal well with. How many forges do we have? Just a single forge. 2 cannons being built as well. Very late fort base here for herO. Is going to get hit by this mine. We'll pick up the mine and the Phoenix will stay alive. The way that it's supposed to be. There's nothing really here when it comes to defense in the natural. 4, 5, 6 workers get taken out. 1 Phoenix dies. Good trade there for herO. I'm not saying that losing Phoenixes is necessarily brilliant, but it's also not that bad at the moment. Because these Phoenixes are pretty much being phased out the moment the ghosts get produced. Phoenixes become a lot less useful. You can still use them for some type of map control with like a zealot group to try and stop drops. They're nice if there's like an idling medevac in a dead space, but overall they've been useful enough, you know. They can't do too much more. So getting 6 kills and only losing 1, I definitely do believe that herO is going to be happy with that. Single mine is going to hit these zealots. And SCVs need to be pulled away. There's a couple of bio units here on the bottom side. We see ByuN actually deciding to return back home. Could catch all of these zealots here. Except that herO decides to continue running away. We'll only lose 3, 4 zealots. Maybe one more. One more hit, one more hit, one more hit. Keep chasing Mr. Marauder. Hey, Mr. Marauder, man. Should have used more drugs there. With Stim definitely would have been capable of catching up. Now he's going to get caught by those 4 zealots instead. We have some Templar in here. Could be a storm drop for on top of the army, but knowing herO is most likely going to be a storm drop on top of these SCVs. This is a move that he's been very keen on recently. And with those 2 immortals at home for the defense, with the battery setup, I don't think he has to be afraid of actually dying in the near future. Here comes the sensor tower. Will give ByuN a little more time to respond. Is it enough though? He's going to end up losing 3 worker. Yeah, that's definitely enough. It's enough time to respond. We'll lose 2 more. And if this Archon gets recalled now, that would be really sick. It's not going to get recalled. It will die. So that is 6 workers at the cost of 300 gas. Not entirely sure if that is actually worth it, now that I think about it. 6 workers is nice, but there already was some oversaturation. And 300 gas is 300 gas. That's a big deal. Could have been a second robotics facility. Or if you already have 2, could be a 3rd robotics facility. If you already have 3, could have been a dark shrine, because no one needs 4 robos. Get it together, guys. Come on. Second forge is being constructed as well. A couple of disruptors being boosted out currently. Will definitely boost the strength of this army as well, as we have Templars defending outside bases. We have nothing here on the top right, but we do have good enough vision that I don't think it's actually going to end up mattering. This watchtower will get cleared right now by ByuN, who still has those Cyclones and Vikings alive. I don't think I've ever seen Cyclones being used this long into a Terran versus Protoss game. So you have a bit of an army here on the map. And this is the style that recently a lot of Terrans have been keen on. Just big Marauder, Marine Ghost run-bys. playing for complete map control, not even getting too many Vikings, just a couple. Did he just storm his own battery? That doesn't work. Doesn't give it more energy. You know, like an electricity overload. There's an alternative way to actually start the super battery. That's not the case. Ooh, Disruptor could definitely shoot here and deal some damage. These units weren't really being used by ByuN, as I think he was mainly focusing on the army over here. And this army is actually dealing a lot of damage. Disruptor's going to go back home right now. Will definitely need to be used here to clear this. More probes could end up falling. Good pickup. Phoenixes are also coming in though right now. I think we're going to get another unload. Bunch of Stalkers do get warped. Phoenix dies. Lots of Marines still alive, but with a blink forward, I do believe this is going to get cleaned up. At the same time, ByuN moving forward. Couple of EMPs hitting right now. Do we still have a Disruptor here? Yeah, I'm not so sure if it has a Purification Nova active. I can't quite see it. I don't think so, though. Now it might have, actually. ByuN with a couple of decent trades here. Hasn't started 2-2 yet, and that is a major error here. That is a big, big mistake. Oh, it's going to snipe one of these Disruptors. Could go for another Disruptor snipe here. A couple of Storms are going to blanket this army, though. ByuN perhaps in some trouble. Takes out every single Disruptor in this army. And the Mines will, well, force out another Disruptor shot. That's something at least. Lots of Archons in this composition. Means that the Ghost will be having a field day with a couple of EMPs. Double Medivacs are going to fly over some cannons and most likely will get taken out. +2 attack, or what is this called? Infantry weapons, there we go. It's being researched right now here for ByuN. It is a little bit late. I think 2-2 should have been halfway done already at this point. There definitely was the money for it for a long time. He decided to not spend it because he was busy doing other things. Understandable, it has been a rather active game, but upgrades are so darn important. I'm always surprised when, especially Terrans, forget them. Fairly often, Terrans are the ones that forget them. Zerg's very keen on hitting those upgrades. Protoss are always chrono boosting, so they always have to be looking at them forges anyway. What did he? Oh, I was like, did he just attack one of his own units? But he was just going for these rocks. Moving out as well towards the left side. There is a Stalker there for spotting. Could potentially take out these rocks for one hell of an attack angle. Ooh. These Zealots are going to get caught. herO not quick enough with the response. Wasn't quite expecting this army to be here. Loses 5 out of the 6 Zealots. Scans. ByuN sees this army, sees how many Archons there are in there, and decides that it's perhaps time to attack. Blankets this army in EMPs with a good initial start of the fight here. One Colossi gets taken out as well. All these Archons are extremely low. Still a couple of Disruptor shots remain though. ByuN did not have the guts to continue chasing these Disruptors down and take him out before the Novas hit. Loses a couple of Ghosts, still has 5 remaining. A Reaper in the composition now as well. Not quite sure why that is happening exactly, but it is, and that's a fact. 17 Marauders, 12 Marines, 5 Ghosts, 3 Vikings in here as well. 2 more are in production. I don't think he's gonna need too many more. Infantry weapons level 2 about to finish up. And finally we'll have some even fights, some even upgraded fights at least. ByuN decides to leave the army for what it is. And says, hey, maybe you can just take out this Nexus. herO wants to chase this army. A couple of Zealots go down before anything else really happens. We do have a run by here, but there's plenty of units there to deal with it. ByuN's going to get pushed back, but herO is actually the one bleeding out units here. And it's not ByuN. ByuN actually taking a bit of a supply lead in this chase. Could definitely take out that Archon if he wants to. Does not want to overstim this army. He's going to stim one more time. This army is now largely orange. And that could potentially be an issue. Mines are going to be hitting any reinforcements that are coming in. This mine could potentially also hit a Zealot. Yep, there we go. It's definitely going to happen. We see ByuN actually go for a bit of a concave setup here. That is not going to end up working as these Vikings in the sky. Not enough to deal with the Colossi. Purification Nova's dealing so much damage. And now ByuN is in a world of trouble. 80 workers against 69. So he is up in that eco. If he can stabilize, it might be okay. He has so much gas in the bank though. Not really useful, that gas right now. Liberators are being set up. That's 2 Libs in position, but without upgrades. I mean, Stalkers could still take it out. herO's going to play it careful though. Does not want to attack into this. And it is kind of un-herO-like. herO's a play. Oh my god, these were some big mine hits. Holy crap. One more Purification Nova. Hello? There we go. 5th base is on the way. Or well, 5th base is finished. It's going to fly back towards this planetary base. No DTs out yet. We do have Dark Shrine researching the Shadow Stride. DTs will need to make a difference in this game. They will need to start doing something, taking out Eco. Currently the income in favor of herO, despite him having less workers. And of course herO also plays the race that doesn't actually have mules. So it's rare to see them actually, you know, be up in income, especially when down in workers. Just because he has 5 bases that he can mine from. Still has this rich Vespine geyser that potentially could be used as well. A couple of DTs. Literally a couple. Are moving towards the other side of the map, trying to deal some damage. We see herO in control of the watchtower on top. But having pretty poor map vision. Nothing over here, which is an important attack path. Does have some army here towards the bottom side. So DTs are moving in there right now. This mine is actually going to spot this move. I think ByuN saw that DTs were going there as well. It is actually somewhat important. Liberator's gonna set up defensively, perhaps. Yep, indeed it is. No defensive sensor tower over here. Some turrets now being thrown down, though. Mines are being sprawled around the map. And here we go. Moves in. There is a sizable ByuN army here. Luckily, herO did not decide to blink in yet, or he could have. Well, would have been a rather expensive mistake. Sensor tower does get thrown down. There's no advanced ballistics yet, which is the Liberator range upgrade. Aggressive rotation coming out of herO. Defensive scan coming out of ByuN. And now we'll be seeing the rotation game. We'll have to wait and see who's going to win it. So both players are making similar rotations here. Orbital Command could be in a little bit of trouble. Couple of Purification Overs are going to be sent out here. One Ghost will fall, but Liberators are set up. There's no DT threat on the far right side, which is usually what you see in this type of rotations. Is ByuN prepared for it? I think he has a mine there and 2 Ghosts, but that is about it. Needs to be very careful. Once again, we're going to go back into the rotation game. We see a scan. Couple of scans actually, making sure there's no gold base going up. This mine is definitely doing some work on that. I think it just killed a probe. And once again, ByuN is going to be in time here. Ghosts are here as well. Could definitely EMP some of these units. Liberators will deal a fair share of the damage. Zealots now running in towards this base, but they're hitting a little bit late in my mind. Yeah, I do need to leave again. More Purification of us are being shot. Will not connect with anything though. herO definitely getting the better end of these trades and also just really securing himself a lot of map control. As long as Terran is on 5 bases though, I don't think the Terran is too worried here. This could be an issue. You see the defensive rotation being way too slow here for ByuN. ByuN decides to switch it up and says, hey, I already have an army on the map right now. You're going to be forced back. I can kill maybe this base or at least force your army over there. And at the same time, I'm going to be stimming in with a lot of Ghost added in as well towards the far right side. My drop still heading in towards your natural as well. This is a great little play here out of ByuN. Who's going to be sniping a lot of these disruptors. Will lose a bunch of Ghost as well. Feedback is going to hit. This army is still alive. No scan, which means that these DTs did way more damage than they ever should have. One medevac gets shot out of the sky as well, but overall a good trade for ByuN, who needed some breathing room and gets that breathing room by having this little drop hit the far left side. herO once again wants to set up and stabilize. I'd love to see a single Templar over here. I'd love to see some more map vision as well coming out of our Korean Protoss player, but he's not going for it right now. He's just being happy, at least temporarily, by just moving around the map with his main army, having cannons, having batteries. One mine is going to move in towards his, what is this, like his 6th, his 7th base or so? 6th base it is. So many Liberators. The next time ByuN gets a drop in like that, these Libs are going to start moving across the map. There is advanced ballistics halfway done right now. We only have +1 ship weapons. Oh no, what a travesty that is. +2 ship weapons allows these Liberators to 2-shot every single Stalker. With an EMP allows them to 1-shot every single Stalker. Not having that will have a huge impact on the outcome of this game. If it's going to be ended by a single fight. Because these Libs are so much more powerful with that +2, trust me on that. I wouldn't even mind if he skips +3 armor to get a faster +2 ship weapons. I really believe that is how important it is. Here we have one Liberator. I think it got set up without the range being complete, so this looks a little bit pathetic, honestly. Yeah, he's going to try to set it up once more, but it will fall before he gets that opportunity. And now ByuN is in this kind of rough spot where his bio army isn't big enough to trick herO into going back. So then setting up aggressively with these lips is going to be really difficult. It will just be a monumental task. You need to somehow get across the map with these lips at some point. You need to find the space to move out. And I don't quite see how ByuN is going to be doing that. He only has 4 medevacts in this comp right now. You see the lip just setting up far, far away. I'm not even sure if Stalkers can reach this, can they? Oh, they definitely can. Oh, they easily can. Yeah, this is the problem. If this was 2-shotting Stalkers, this lip actually wouldn't have died, which would have been huge, 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 huge. Now we see a couple of EMPs hitting. This is a great position for ByuN, because this allows ByuN to keep pushing forward right now through this area. There's no other rotations that herO can make. herO needs to make a decision. Am I going to give up this base, or will I try to defend? With advanced ballistics, it is almost always impossible to hold on to a base. There's still 14 lips available. Where are all the Liberators? We still have so many defensively. I think that is a mistake here out of ByuN. This was the opportunity to push forward. We even have a defensive lip over here. This is definitely a mistake. There's still 9 Liberators here. But what are they doing? This is the final push. This is the march. Oh no. That was the opportunity that ByuN had, and I feel like it just went away. Planetary is going to get taken out. Now these Liberators still need to come here to try and defend. Honestly, without the ship weapons level 2, the lips are just so much worse. I think it would have been enough if he had ship weapons level 2 there. Then he probably could have done with that number of Liberators. But without that, they're so much worse against Stalkers. ByuN is going to get pushed back. Probably wants to make a move towards the other side of the map, while defensively setting up lips over here. Taking out that bottom side base could be a priority. Then kind of pushing on towards the top side is something that he could try and aim for. Shield weapon, what is this, level 3? Oh my god, it's so nice and dark blue. I hardly ever see this in games. Shields level 3, then you know you're truly done in life. Holy crap, that looks nice. herO on only 64 workers currently. Has no real defenses on the top side base. Needs a couple of cannons, but 1 EMP will destroy that. Okay, now we have a lot of Liberators over here. This is 6 Liberators. With +2 as well, because it has finished. Oh, if there was just 1 EMP here, that would really boost this push. Here we go. Yeah, this is a cool move that herO plays here. Liberators can't attack buildings, so actually cannons and purification novas can stall a lot. At the same time, you can opt for a base trade, and that's what herO is doing here. He's saying, okay, you're going to take out one of these bases eventually, but at the same time, I'm going to move across the map, and I'm going to be taking out some of your bases. Don't forget that herO has been mining from more bases this entire game. The overall trades have been in favor of him as well. If he takes out this planetary, that is one of the final remaining bases that ByuN was still mining from. ByuN can't afford to lose all these workers either. We have a couple more lips on the way, 2 more medevacts as well. We still have 11 Liberators remaining. And we actually don't see any army composition switch coming out of herO. Some players, people like Zaun, enjoy building Tempest in this type of case. But herO isn't one of them. And he's going to eventually need to face his fear. Well, if his fear is Liberators. If his fear is Spiders, I don't think he'll need to face it this game. Unless ByuN, you know, left some Spiders at herO's house for whatever reason. That would be double sad. Facing Liberators and Spiders at the same time is something I don't wish upon anyone. Think Stalkers moving in here? Technically, any trade right now is a good trade for herO. I mean, that's not true, but most trades are going to be fine. As long as you're not losing your entire army, your disruptors stay alive, and a decent Stalker count stays alive, you're going to be okay. Because you're just outmining your opponent, you're going to have more bases. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple extra cannons being added in towards this 9 o'clock. Maybe 1 or 2 Templar as well would really help out. That way you're kind of stopping the ability of ByuN to take out bases easily and quickly. Look, if Terran wants to take out a base, they're going to take out a base. But you can delay them by putting cannons, batteries, and Templar there. Maybe even a Disruptor as well helps so much, because Disruptors aren't as vulnerable to EMPs. This is a DT run by? Yeah, it's 6 DTs though. It's not enough to take out a base. This is an absolutely ridiculous blink in. Unless ByuN falls asleep. Scans as well, despite having the turret here. Yeah, that was a ridiculous blink in. I am not sure what herO was thinking there. And I guess it kind of distracted ByuN a little bit. The only way that ByuN can win in a base trade is if he goes for the production straight away, because he is so far behind right now when it comes to bank that taking out outside bases doesn't actually do that much. He needs to secure his own production and he needs to take out his opponent's production. Lots of Liberators are sieging up right now. This will force a recall for sure out of herO. And herO's going to continue trying to take out some buildings here. Maybe this orbital will end up falling. At the same time, actually, a couple of bases are going down here. There's still so much bank. This is why I believe that if you're going for a base trade, you need to target the production. Stims are running out as well, because these medevacs are running out of energy. So, sure, you could stim, but it's going to be rather painful for your unit. Single lib here will not be capable of holding this. Although I do believe that ByuN is going to try. Scans forward, does not want to stim anymore. If you can just take out a lot of pylons, that would be good enough as well. And then you just have to win one fight. That is really all it's going to be. If your opponent can't reinforce, really one fight is all it takes. Like a Dua Lipa song. One fight is all it takes. Na, 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 na. Libs do need to be in the fight though. You're not going to win a fight without Liberators right now. You're going to need to keep on pushing as well. Like, you can't go home. ByuN, no. You have no mining. You have a single orbital command. So even DTs are an issue. I mean, Ghost will take care of that, I guess. Yeah, herO moving across the map. This seems silly, because herO is still mining and has a bigger bank. Actually, he doesn't have a bigger bank, but will be capable of producing in the near future. But if herO is on the map, he has way more buildings. That means that these libs can't fight in a sieged-up position aggressively. And you can throw your disruptor balls. That's a lot of disruptor balls at the same time. But because the main strength of this army is in Liberators, a siege unit, I actually think that's going to be okay. ByuN, he wants to force a fight. And every time he stims in, he loses HP, loses a couple of units to disruptors. It's actually fairly bad for him. There's, what, 4, 5, 6 Liberators remaining right now. There's 6 ghosts. Yeah, good blink forward once again out of herO. We'll take out one more Liberator. Could we get... Yeah, defensive disruptors are absolutely key here. And I love those being used. I wouldn't mind seeing them utilized in combination with some cannons. You have a gold base that is starting to mine right now on the bottom side. Orbital command is flying away. We could actually see maybe a void ray being produced. We did have the fleet beacon. Right now herO is actually supply blocked. It is still possible for ByuN to win this. It is just fairly unlikely. Uh-oh! This recall is interesting. What's he recalling? Oh, it's all of his disruptors. Okay, I thought it was the entire army, but right now there's actually a setup here for ByuN, where if he takes one good fight, if he can back this army into a corner... Oh, big disruptor hit, never mind. Yeah, we can throw it out of the window. This army is way overstimmed. The Liberator count is too little. GG as herO wins an epic late game here on Cosmic Sapphire. Holy crap, that was sick. That was actually really sick. It's extremely back and forth, never tacking into those boring Tempest or Carriers that kind of kill games. herO did manage to win it. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it as much as I did. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.